Yeah. All right. All right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another Around 30 Minutes. This is where we have a little interview process and we get to know people out in the community. And today I have some special guests, like I say all the time. We got Randy and we got Brian from the crew from Nerd Out. Thank y'all very much for taking time to come in and, on my little show and everything. I really appreciate it. How y'all
Thanks
doing?
for having us, man.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
No problem.
Doing
I know
great.
we've been trying to do this for a little while, and we just, life happens, and everything. And, it just finally we get to do this and everything. So thank y'all once again. So, first question is, we know y'all do, Transformer reviews. Is there what other lines do y'all collect other than Transformers?
I collect a little bit.
I guess you can go first.
Yeah.
I've been doing that. I've never had two people on. So, what do you collect, Randy?
Double the action here. I collect a little bit of everything, from vintage to modern stuff. I have a big Machine Robo collection.
Nice.
Anything 80s. I love the 80s. Robotech Macross, Diaclone I've gotten big into. Action figures. So I really have no limit personally, which is a problem.
Whatever. Do you like cherry pick stuff, or do you have to collect the whole line of everything? Do you just cherry pick stuff?
These days I'm trying to cherry pick more because I do generally collect, like, I'm all in type guy, but it's kind of getting to the point where it's just almost nearly impossible to be all in. So I'm more of a cherry picker these days.
Okay, cool. And Brian, same thing for you?
I've actually always been a cherry picker. I try to stick to like high-end Japanese stuff. Like I like Transformers, Soul Chogokin, Super Dimension Fortress Macross, stuff like that. Basically, anything that strikes my interest, I go for it.
Are you saying so you do cherry pick? You don't have to finish a line or something?
Oh, hell no! I'm a straight up cherry picker all the way.
Well, I would like to correct that a little bit. I think with the 1/60th scale Arcadia Macross, you're kind of all in, right? Or
if I could have it all, I'd have it.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he called you on your bullshit, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
Bullshit
meter.
You're lying. Quit lying. Yep. That's awesome. So as far as that, going there like that, if you start collecting now and not sell anything, at all, if you stopped collecting, would you be satisfied with your collection right now?
Brian or me? All right.
Yeah, both of y'all. I mean, I'll ask you first.
I think I'm I hate to say it, but I think I'm like an all or nothing compulsive type person. I don't know that I could just stop and like pause time. Like, I think I have to continuously consume, and if I don't consume, then I don't know what I would do. So
go crazy.
I'm just admitting straight up consuming addiction.
Yeah. And what about you, Brian?
As for me, I that's hard to answer because I guess there's stuff I want that I can't afford. But as far as like, I don't really consider myself a collector as much of like just someone who buys the stuff to play with it. So so I'm pretty happy. I mean, I could always get more, but can't we all,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and that's the same with me. Like, have y'all always, I know as children we didn't really collect. We just, played with stuff and everything. So as adults, have y'all always collected something? Have y'all always done that as an adult, and everything?
I'll say I really never stopped collecting. Even as a kid, I was a bit of a collector. I was a little bit more, I guess, anal, like with my G.I. Joe. Right? Yeah, there was that brief period in maybe middle school where I sort of like, was in the closet about my collecting, where like occasionally I'd sneak out and buy a G.I. Joe. But maybe that lasted a year or two, and then I got a job at a comic book shop, and then I was all in.
Oh, nice.
So.
Nice. That's a perfect job for a thing, especially when you're a nerd, you're just like, man, mine would have been probably working for a movie theater. I'll always love movies as a kid and everything. Right. I would love to work for the movie theater. So, and for you, Brian, what would you, do you?
I took a couple years off post college. I don't remember how long it was, but probably a good 6 years where I really didn't collect much, but I kept up with it a little bit. I'd always be interested in toys. Always thought they were cool. I was always into like the nerd community, but yeah, I'd say a good 5 years, probably like somewhere between like 27 and 32, something like that, where I didn't really do much with it,
Yeah, you just had those moments.
I've always been into something, either comic books or toys.
Exactly. When I was a kid, I collect baseball cards, and
I did that.
football. Yeah.
Yep.
And I went through a CD phase where I just had tons of CDs and the movies, and and just I've always had a collection and everything. It's just me and everything. And my wife, which is totally opposite, does not collect anything. Like I try to get her to into stuff and all that stuff, but it's like it's a losing battle. So
Yeah, we're the same. I'm the same way with my wife. Like I collect records, toys,
oh, nice.
anything. So yeah, and she just all she wants is a couple cats, and so that was the deal. The deal was she could have a couple cats, and I can continue my compulsive behaviors.
Nice. Yeah. I've tried to, get her, I try to like pops, like, hey, we can collect pops and everything, or, do our Legos, we can build Legos and everything. She's like, no, I'm good. She loves Beauty and the Beast. I've gotten her a couple of those things. She's just like, it's just piling up basically what she says. I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think you either have that mentality or you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So, who is y'all's favorite? Let's just go with Transformers. Who's y'all's favorite character and why?
Ooh.
Anybody go first?
Randy, you go first.
Well, with Transformers, I mean, I got to be unoriginal and go with Optimus Prime. I think he's iconic.
Yeah.
He's got that red, blue with a hint of yellow. I mean, it's just such a heroic vision. So I mean, that's the easy one. I wish I could be more creative, but that's just Optimus Prime just had it all.
Oh, that's if you like him, that's what you like.
You ready for a really uncreative one?
Uh-oh.
Megatron.
I'm a Starscream's mine, so we got the top three, Transformers that people.
Well, Ultra Magnus is my number 2.
Okay, that's
interesting.
Cool. So why would you choose Megatron?
The simple fact that this robot turned into a gun always intrigued me as a kid. I didn't really understand it. I was fascinated with it, and like just the oddness of it, like same with Soundwave. It's just like what is this thing, man? And it always intrigued me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and like I said, mine's Starscream, so it's I guess unoriginal. I don't. Mainly, a couple people have asked. Optimus Prime has been one of their favorites and everything, and I can understand why. He's like a father figure, or a grandfather or something, grandpa kind of figure like to you or something like that.
So was Starscream your favorite because of the cartoon or because of the toy?
Mainly because of what his alt mode was. I always wanted to be a jet. For some reason, when I was a kid, I thought it was going to turn into a jet.
I'm with you.
Me too, man.
That's why I found I know I'm losing the interest of the Transformer fans, but that's why GoBots made so much sense to me, is because Leader 1 being the leader of the good guy, it made so much sense for him to be a jet. Where I never quite grasped on why the leader of the Autobots was a truck. It just didn't.
They're called Autobots.
I guess you're right.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I don't like people. I don't like Starscream, but I mean, his character is fine, but you really don't want to, be a role model to that because the way he is. Mm-hmm. But I love the interaction with him and Starscream. Always, what made I think me was the Decepticons, was him and Megatron always fighting back, because he always was going to say, I'm going to take over, but he would have been a shitty, leader. I mean, he could have done crap.
Proved that in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just, I liked him as a jet, and I always liked the, all that stuff. So
and he looked cool.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he looked cool.
Even the, the Bayverse. I like the Bayverse. So I know a lot of people don't, but whatever. So what is and who's y'all's favorite? You like Star Wars. I say a lot of your Star Wars. Who's your favorite Star Wars character?
I mean, I'm Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight all the way.
Nice. Are you, Brian? Are you a big?
I'm a Vader / Anakin kind of guy. If we can count them as the same character, for sure, both those guys. So
I think you could see the dynamic here that I represent the good and Brian represents the evil.
Yeah, but it's different because Anakin really he's just confused. I mean, he's not a typical villain. He meant to do the right thing and just really got confused on the way, and I love that about him.
Bad decisions.
Yeah, he didn't mean to kill all those kids. It's fine.
Thought he was saving his wife, man.
Yeah, just look past that kid thing, whatever. That's cool. So, what is y'all's favorite line to collect? Like, if it's Transformers or different lines or anything. If you have Transformers, what is your favorite line to collect and that and all that stuff?
Right. All right. I do collect so much. I think I've been really into the Diaclone series. They're just they're expensive, but I've really picked up on that. I got into the Mezco 112, but a lot, but that's gotten a bit hard to keep up with. As far as vintage Machine Robo GoBots, I love my collection, but I have that. So
okay. And Brian?
I'm really liking the Bondi High Metal R line. It's currently, the prices are really good. They're about $100 a piece, and they're really high end. They're high end. They're really fun to play with. You get a lot of play value out of them. They're sort of current and pretty easy to get.
Nice, cool. Do y'all collect the mainline? Do any of y'all do the mainline stuff for Transformers?
Currently, Siege would be that.
Are y'all into the Siege line?
Yeah, very much. We just did an episode where we
you did. Yeah, Megatron and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that Ultra Magnus. I think that is a great toy. Super fun.
I like the Shockwave.
Yeah, I do too. I do.
Those are some of the best figures that have come out in recent years, I think.
Yeah, and Prime. Prime is my favorite. I think, and I've said it in my review, was that, Generation Springer is usually claimed as one of the best, chug as far as. I
agree with that. Yeah.
I think Optimus Prime could definitely compete with that. It's so fun. I've not put it down. I have it down, but I pick it up all the time, and it's just a fun Transformer now. And
I agree.
That's the way they should do the mainline stuff, is what they did with Prime.
It looks like maybe they've taken the hint from both collectors and kids, and they're pushing them in the right direction. But so far, the Siege line has been great fun. All of them have been fairly fun and complex enough, but not too complex.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of Megatron. I say Megatron was one of my weakest, and even though he still is a good toy, and I still have fun with him. It looks like they took 2 steps forward with Prime and then kind of 2 steps back with Megatron.
I agree. I think a lot of that has to do with the alt mode. I think
that's true. Yeah.
I think they just need to. Yeah.
Megatron.
What was you saying? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Randy. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that the alt mode, the tank, it's a little bit compromised. It's still a fun transformation. It just doesn't quite look like a tight tank.
Yeah, they should have made him like G2 Megatron straight up. That's I think a lot of people are sort of overdue on a good one of those. And the heck with making I don't like that weird tank actually either. I just like normal, like a I don't know, what is it, a Maverick? Not a Maverick. I'm gonna get destroyed. But
it's fine.
Yeah, whatever tank they're called.
Yeah, the head thing, I didn't like that it sinks down. I didn't like that. Really bothered me. I was like, you could have put a little plastic or something in there to make it stay up. But anyways, it's still a great toy, and I love the playability, and it's just fun. They're fun toys. That's what brings me to the main line and stuff. Everything. So that's
definitely.
So if y'all two could have start up a third party company, what would be your first reveal? And what scale would it be?
Ooh, okay. So let me just make sure I'm answering the question correctly. So third-party company, and it's Transformer related, correct?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Transformer related. Okay. And if you start, what would be your first one? The first thing that you put out?
Oh, that's tough because the third-party companies have really seem to be on target. Does Beast Wars include it?
yeah, anything.
Any character
you want? Yeah.
You go ahead. I could think of.
Brian?
Are we limited to Transformers?
Yeah, we'll just do Transformers.
Okay, give me a minute here.
Yeah, you know what?
It is kind of hard. It is because you want to put something out that nobody really, because it'd be kind of foolish to put out like an Optimus Prime right now because there's so many.
Maybe a good Petrojet.
Okay, nice.
I go for something like that.
I would definitely get in on that.
I'm gonna sort of use my answer to sort of guide me to another line, but I would probably try to do a really good Roadbuster. But that's because I have a love for the Mugen Caliber door vac, and I'd love to get an authentic one.
Good choice. That's a great choice. Good choice. I like that one. I like both of y'all actually. That's a really good. I would, people would, we try to put something out that nobody's done anything like that, because, but like I said, put out a Megatron or Optimus Prime right now would be kind of foolish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. But so let me ask you this question: if you could only collect one line, what would it be?
Like a current line that's being released? Yeah. I'm gonna say I got to go with the Diaclone. If I had
I'm sorry, I meant franchise. Like Transformers, Star Wars, if you had to just collect one thing, what would be your passion to collect more of?
Brian, you know your answer.
Macross, without a doubt. Like I actually play it, relive the shows. Like that's the only line I truly play with. Like I'm a child.
Okay,
Love
nice. That's good. That's good.
That's a tough one. I'll mythology wise, it's not. I'm not super in love or like attached to the Transformers mythology. But as far as play value goes, I get the most play value when I buy a Transformer. So with that said, I actually like to play with the toy. I would have a hard time giving up Transformers for that reason.
Cool. Okay. All right. So, question is, how did y'all meet, and how did y'all come up with the concept of Knerdout? And how long have y'all been doing this?
Go for it, Randy.
I know it's a lot of questions, but
I think it's been about 3 years. We met in high school.
Okay, nice. Cool.
Yeah, he was. I think you were a junior and I was a senior, so we didn't.
I was a year younger than you.
Yeah. And we, even though you're older than me, but nevertheless, we were late friends. We didn't really know each other until the end of high school, and we both just sort of discovered that we were into like comic books at the time, I think, primarily, and we became fast friends, and been friends ever since. We kind of lost touch during the post-college type years, as we were starting families or doing whatever, or
one of us started a family at least,
right? Or pulling all ourselves off the floor. But and then we reconnected, and Brian was actually watching reviews, and I really wasn't. And he was like, "I think we could do something. I don't know about better than other people, but different." And we talked about it for a little bit, and one day we just said, you know, screw it, let's just do it. And Knerdout was born. And we've been doing it ever since.
Combiner Wars. It's all about the Combiner Wars.
That's right, aerial bots.
Nice. Oh, y'all start. Okay, got you. So, I'm sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I think our first episode was never shown. It was.
Oh really?
It was rough though.
Oh.
Yeah, we were getting
nervous, and we're just sitting here like talking about it, you know, but we weren't really. There was no banter in it, so it wasn't really, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, as we've gone, we wanted to sort of. I know that anyone who watches our show knows that we don't really give in-depth reviews in the sense of we're not showing you every aspect of it. But we felt that a lot of there was plenty of that out there. There's a lot of great reviewers out there, and we sort of wanted to give something different, something more like a hangout and like just two guys just talking about toys and their passion. So
just something to listen to while you're doing something else, you know, or like. I think. Well, I like to listen to stuff. I don't really feel alone or whatever. Sometimes you like company, playing with the toy.
I know. No, I understand that. Yeah, completely. I understand you have to, because there's a tons of reviewers out there now. So you have to stand out, to other people, and you do different. So do y'all consider yourself a review channel or a podcast? Maybe y'all kind of do, like you said, you do something different than what reviews are. So, and y'all sit there, and talk about stuff like that. And so, what do y'all consider yourself?
I think I'll answer this. I don't know if this is the same answer as you. I think when we started out, we were really targeting reviews, but I think as we've grown, I think we are reviews, but we're not. Our interest isn't to play with the toy for you. Or
show you how to use it.
Right. We're not instructional. We're more like, this is what we got. This is what we think of it. This, if we recommend it, we recommend you go by and experience it yourself. It's sort of like you don't want a movie review where someone gives you the end of the story or the whole plot. We want you to just give you a nice little summary, some details, and let you make an opinion on your own.
And I mean, a lot of it too is we put it out there, like everything about us. So it's sort of like I feel like a lot of people know us good enough that we can just give our shtick on it, and then they'll sort of be like, "Yeah, you know what? Neither that's for me or it's not," without really spoiling it, like you said.
Right. It's like sitting around with a bunch of other guys and just talking about stuff. Like, and that's what I do with my reviews. I don't do transformations anymore. I basically, it's just an overview of what I think of it is. And I usually try not to say you should buy this or not. I don't want to be like that. I'm just saying this is the reason why I like it, and this is the reason why you can get on the floor and play with it, and everything. So that's basically what y'all try to do is y'all don't do a review. Basically, y'all just do a overview of this is why I like this figure.
Absolutely. And as our show has grown and as we've become more comfortable and have less time, we've sort of transformed our show, I guess, into more like a hangout. Like you're basically hanging out with us and you're spending. We don't get as much time to hang out with each other, so we're inviting you into the hour that we have to hang out and talk about the new toys we bought, the new movies we saw, and just overall just some of the stuff going on in our lives.
I think it works out more interesting like that too.
Oh yeah, I do too. It you know, it brings, you know, once people give it into more, like you said, you don't have a lot of time to do it anymore. So people are actually, you know, looking forward to, hey, these guys, you know, they don't get a lot of time together, so they're going to speak their mind of what they like, and you know, and they can associate with that, basically what they can do. Trying to say.
Definitely.
Well, that's cool. Awesome. Good answer. Okay. So if y'all, I'm going to get away from like, you know, collecting things. If y'all could have one last meal, I don't want anything bad happen to you, like I say. If you could have one last meal, what would that last meal be? We'll go with you, Randy, first.
I guess I'll always go with pizza. I mean, I just never, you know. I mean, I know again, it's not a original concept, but I think pizza is the one food that I could eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or I could have a full stomach and someone could offer me pizza, and I would be like, all right, I'll take a slice.
Now, is there a special place that you like a number one pizza place that you like?
Oh, you know what? We're in the Midwest. We're in Michigan, and there's so much good pizza. I don't know that. I don't know if there's one pizza. I mean, pizza is a complex food. There's thin crust, thick crust. So
exactly.
I like a Buddy's Pizza, which is around here. That's a good pizza.
Nice.
I don't think that's everywhere though.
Probably not. I don't think it's a chain. I never heard of it. So, so Brian, what would you be your last meal?
My girlfriend's macaroni and cheese.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's really good. It's really good. You know, she puts all these different cheeses in it, mixes it all together, and bakes it.
Nice.
Like that's amazing. With sausage in it. She puts sausage in it. It's amazing.
Oh, really? Yeah. A lot of people like ham. We down here in the South, a lot of people. Some people put ham in there. Do y'all put? You don't put ketchup in your macaroni and cheese?
No, that sounds disgusting.
Thank you.
I think it sounds good.
My wife puts tuna fish in, and I think that's really good.
I don't know if that's fish casserole kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but some people do put ketchup. I'm not saying I'm one of them guys, but you know they're weird.
I've never heard that. I will say if you put ketchup in your macaroni without trying it, it sounds disgusting. But you know,
are you talking about on it or in it? Like
in it, like they in it.
I don't know. That could be really interesting.
Well, the thing with me, I like ketchup and everything, and I like macaroni and cheese, but I think for me, ketchup overpowers the taste of the macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
It's got such a bitter taste to it, so I don't like it.
Would it turn it into almost like tomato soup? Like
I mean, it turns the yellow into like a reddish, like a pinkish kind of thing, like like mayonnaise and ketchup kind of thing.
That's got to be a Southern thing. I've never heard of that.
Must be. Yeah. So, and speaking of food, do y'all like cereal? And what is y'all's favorite cereal?
I don't eat a lot, but I will say Cinnamon Toast Crunch is probably one of the best cereals ever created. Frosted Flakes is a good classic too. But
Golden Grams.
That's good.
Okay.
Golden Grams. I like cereal a lot. I don't eat it a lot, but there's very few cereals I don't like.
Yeah, sure. They got my new favorite one is, and I don't eat it anymore because I'm trying to lose weight. The Fruit Loops with marshmallows. They got Lucky Charms marshmallows. Damn, son, that stuff's good. And one more food question: what is a go-to sandwich for y'all? Like if you went to a sub shop or some Subway or whatever or Quiznos. What is y'all's favorite, or Arby's, whatever? What is y'all's favorite sandwich that y'all love to eat?
We had to swear off Arby's.
Yeah,
come on.
We were just going to town a little bit too much on the Arby's. I think it was, you know.
It's good. It is so good. Their roast beef sandwiches, fire, man. So Brian or Randy, it don't matter. Whichever one go first.
I'm not. I mean, I like a ham and cheese sandwich. I think that makes me a bad Jew, but I like a ham and cheese sandwich. Put a little bacon on it.
Killing me. Nice. Oh yeah, bacon. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
The biggest beef and cheddar money can buy.
Nice. Good choice. Dude, man, they got the meats, man. I don't know. They do. They have that stuff.
Is this episode sponsored by Arby's?
Man, if it was, I wish it was sponsored, man, but no, I'm not that big money right there.
I want a sponsorship from Monster. I drink enough of it.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay, got you. I've never tried those. I just never. I'm already excited most of the time anyway. So imagine if I got a Monster in me and be like,
might be a bad idea.
My wife would hate me. She'd be like, get out, just get out. Okay, so going back to collecting everything. So where would y'all like to see, like, Transformers been around, 30 plus years and everything. Where would you like to see Transformers go to keep your interest another 30 years? Like, as far as toy lines or, comics, movies, cartoons.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
I'm going to probably not make a lot of G1 fans happy, but I'd like to see Hasbro take a huge risk and try to do something creative and new with the license, sort of like whether you like Beast Wars or animated or not. I think that was a pretty special place they went to. They tried something new, and again, whether it worked for you or not, I think it sort of extended the longevity of Transformers instead of just pumping out the same old G1 style stuff. With that said, I'm a huge Binaltech fan, and I would love for them to bring that. But obviously, that's a niche market that wouldn't be bringing back the fan base. But man, what I wouldn't do for them to go forward with Binaltech. But I think ultimately they need to push it and create some new characters and not just rely on the same old Bumblebees and Optimuses.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say Bumblebee was a step in the right direction for me. I mean, they made it, they put some heart and soul in it, put some thought into it. They toned the designs down so it was something we could all relate with.
Yeah, you could notice who was fighting. Yeah.
Just keep doing that, make it thoughtful, make it relevant, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I would love to see a whole new line of as long as they're good toys and they're interesting, I'd go with whatever they gave me, really.
Nice. Well, that's a question I've asked that on my channel is if they started from scratch, went with new characters, no Optimus Prime, no Megatron, still the bad versus evil thing or good versus evil. Would y'all be in for that if they did new characters?
Absolutely. I think that's ultimately something they need to do is at least throw in a new character here and there. Like they did.
Would you want it human centric though?
I don't need the humans, but I'm not necessarily like a huge fan of the what was it called, the Cyberverse, where they did Energon and But with that said, they tried to introduce Hotshot. And
you mean the Unicron trilogy?
Yeah, Unicron. I mean, I wasn't necessarily a big fan of it, but I appreciated the fact that they attempted to introduce a new character with some longevity. I don't think he really had it, but I would like to see a few new characters that can who's Bulkhead and then Lockdown, like Lockdown in the animated,
Windblade was a new character. She was
very true. Yes.
So yeah. But I like a whole new start from fresh and everything. What about you, Brian? Would you think they would do would you still collect?
If it were interesting to me, yeah. I mean, I guess it would be do you mean if they crash on a different planet?
Yeah, that's like I start a whole new, from scratch. You're starting from a 1984, and then you're going to start a whole new lineup, all that stuff, new storyline. It wouldn't be like a Cybertron thing. It'd be a totally different thing.
I'd give it a shot. I wouldn't even know where to go with that, but heck yeah, I'd be open for it. Why not?
Yeah, I think it re-engineer. Yeah, whatever I'm trying to say. The fandom. I think it would pique interest to as long as they transformed and they were what they did like in the old days. Yep. I think people would like it. I think.
Well, I think there's so much cool stuff they could just make out of stuff existing today. I think like a Challenger shuttle with the booster rockets, you could make a sweet combiner out of that. I mean, they could make stuff up. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I think for me, the concept is what appeals to me about Transformers. I mean, certainly the characters have stood the test of time. Optimus Prime is classic hero and stuff like that. But the concept of a robot that turns into something is so appealing that I certainly am open-minded to any potential concept if they create cool characters and designs.
Exactly. And they would always, have some, heroic, kind of Optimus Prime, guy as the, the good guy. And the villain would be, something like Megatron, but just a whole new character and, a new cartoon. I would love for them to do straight to Netflix stuff. I mean, if they did like a All Hail Megatron or the Wreckers, all that stuff, if they went straight to Netflix, I think kids will love it, and the adult fans would love it. I think it'd be really cool.
I always loved the look of that World War II design comic.
Okay.
That would be fun. And then they did that locomotive, that like steampunk style.
Yeah.
That would be a fun diversion or change.
Yeah, that was I had Starscream as one of the planes, whatever.
Right.
Optimus Prime was a train and everything.
Right.
Shockwave was a big old boat or something. I forgot, but yeah.
That Shockwave was crazy. That was awesome.
It was huge. Yeah. That would be pretty cool. So, okay. So, let me see. Do I have anything else for you? What do y'all think of the fandom right now? Do y'all see it as, as negative or positive? Do y'all even pay attention to, what the fandom is and everything? What do y'all think of it as the state right now?
Based on I'll speak based on our experience just doing what we're doing, we find it to be fairly positive. I think the thing is with Transformers is it goes in so many directions. It has so many different elements to it that of course it's going to be divided. Yeah. But every Transformer fan I meet when I go to the TF Con and things like that, super nice, super accepting, totally like, for example, Brian doesn't like Beast Wars. I like Beast Wars, but that doesn't, I don't think it gets temperamental or anything.
No,
I know that there's right. I know there's a few of the boards that I used to go on that I sort of stayed away from because people felt like they were know-it-alls and they were better than someone else. But as far as like our involvement in the YouTube community or the online community, we've really had nothing but great experiences. At least I'm speaking for myself. I have
100% positive with me. Everybody I've talked to is cool. It's like I haven't had a bad experience really. Everybody I've talked to has been really nice, and people just like talking about stuff that you're into. Even Beast Wars guys. Like I know everybody knows that I'm not into it, but it's the shows and everything. It's not a fight, it's just it's good. It's good discussion more than anything.
You be an adult, you with like let's say like the knockoff, and thing and everything. I don't like knockoffs personally. I don't collect knockoffs and everything, but I'm not going to degrade somebody or talk bad about somebody because you do, because that's your own stuff, that's your own money, and that's your own collection. You want do. If you're happy, I'm happy. So I'm not going to belittle somebody because they like knockoffs or Beast Wars versus G1 thing. Sometimes when you look at the Facebook groups, it's just like, I just want to quit Facebook. It's like, come on.
I think the key is to recognize the passion in the community, and if a person is passionate about something, respect that passion.
Yeah.
And, if I meet someone who's passionate, I'm engaged, and I think that's really what it's about. It's about having passion for a similar like-minded thing.
Yeah.
That's it for me on that.
You just gotta be nice. I mean, like I say, if you don't like it, just say I don't like it, but then, don't just move on, or just scroll past it or something. I don't know.
I'm always open-minded to hearing why somebody doesn't like something. That just because somebody doesn't like something, that doesn't make them, it doesn't mean that we can't have a good discussion. Sometimes that creates a better discussion is when someone says, I don't like this. Okay, tell me why. Tell me why you don't like that, and then I get to, I like to hear other people's opinions.
Yeah, I enjoy hearing why people like things I don't. Get a new perspective on it.
You learn things, and that's basically why I'm doing this around 30 minutes. Is you get different perspectives from different people of why they like this and why they don't. I ask the food things all the time, and I always get different answers. Oh, pizza usually is a big favorite for everybody, but you get to hear different ways of life and everything of other collectors and everything, and that's why I started doing this, because just to get to know people out there in the fandom and everything.
Definitely, as long as it's safe, there's no wrong way to collect. So
that is true.
What makes how's it unsafe? Now I'm curious.
I don't know. How could it be unsafe? Well, if you had too much stuff and you were just like, walking over everything, like walking over stuff, that might be unsafe. I don't know.
Spending your food money on it, you know.
Yeah, if you're not paying your
Stealing
bills,
someone's toys, that would be, unacceptable, I guess.
if your car's getting repossessed and
Right.
everything, you might need to step back and be like, am I doing the right thing?
If you're crushing it up and snorting your action figures, probably not a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. If it's like crack to you, like it is real plastic crack, you might have a problem there, fella. So how is it that how do y'all relax? Like if y'all, when you're sitting around, do y'all relax, doing the show, doing Nerd Out, or how do y'all just lay back and everything and do all that good stuff?
Brian.
Okay, I can take that. What I like to do is throw on I'll go get a toy that I want to play with. Which is usually a Valkyrie, and I will put Robotech on or Macross or whatever it appears in the show, and I'll play and watch at the same time. Maybe even a review of that toy. I like to handle a toy and have a review going of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
I like
much.
that. I like that. That's a good end. I like to do that too. What about you, Randy?
Yeah, I mean, there's many different ways, but certainly I like to put on a record and when I get a new toy, and hopefully shut out my kids from screaming, and sit and relax. Hopefully, I got lucky here because the kids are out of the house, so you don't hear any screaming.
How many kids you have?
I have 2.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Okay. So, well, if anybody has any questions in the chat, if y'all want to ask these nice young fellas, if y'all want to ask anything, I'll ask one more question. I usually say that, but then I usually come up with something else. Where do y'all see Nerd Out in 5 years?
You got one, Brian?
Pretty much where it is now, just with more subs. I hope.
Exactly.
Pretty much just the same thing we do now. Get together, talk about stuff that we're interested in, and hopefully entertain people while we do it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I really can't go above that. Like as long as we're, we'd love more people to engage and watch, but
we just on Oprah cover of ET.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think that. Yeah, that'd be sweet, but
I don't see our format as being something that's going to explode into just the way the format is. But we really personally, I think we value those that do watch and enjoy our show, because I genuinely feel that those people really enjoy it. It's not just like pushing a button just so they can subscribe. Like that doesn't do us any good.
Friends watching us.
Yeah, we're not
like that to me. It's like friends. It's like it doesn't feel much like an audience. It feels like people.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that would be great to be able to get advertisers and make some money doing it, but that's not our goal, and that's not what's motivating us, and I don't see that being the end game. Just gives Brian and I a chance to hang out, and also again engage in the community, and we do enjoy that.
Nice. Yeah. So you still enjoy it. I mean, and I think that's what people keep going, doing this stuff, is because they enjoy doing it. That's if you treat it as a job and you have to do, you're like, I have to do another review. Maybe you're in it for the wrong reasons still,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, Not a Rent asked if you could have have a drink with any Star Wars character in the most Isley Cantina. I can't read, whatever. Who would it be? If you could have a drink with any Star Wars character, who would it be? He's a big Star Wars fan. So
I guess Han Solo, right? He was in the cantina, right?
Yeah. Well. Are you going to shoot first, or is he going to shoot?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully we get along and no one shoots. So we'll see.
I mean, if I could pick anybody, did they have to be in the cantina? Can I take a character from another part of Star Wars and put him in the cantina? I'd say Princess Leia. I mean, I'd buy her a drink. I'd buy her a couple drinks. I could. But if limited to that movie, probably Han Solo as well, for sure.
I think that's what he meant. I guess it was in that scene or whatever. I guess, or scenes and everything. I don't know if he meant any. Well, he said any Star Wars character, but he said in the cantina. Okay, so that's fine. I don't know who. What was who he shot was his name was Guido.
Greedo. Yeah.
Greedo. Okay. I'd be interested to talk to him, see what his how his life is going. That'd be pretty cool. I'm not a big. I mean, I love Star Wars. I always say fuck Star Wars and everything, but it's still good. I'm not a collector or anything, but I do watch the movies and everything, and all that stuff. So not a big Star Wars fan. Do you, Brian? Do you collect anything Star Wars at all?
Not really. No, I just watch them, watch the cartoons and everything, but not really.
Okay. And Randy, how big of a Star Wars fan are you like hardcore, like, you know?
I was, but you know, since in the last decade or two, it's just impossible to be a collector. There's just too many lines being created and going away. So it has sort of made it difficult for me to keep my attention. I enjoyed the Star Wars, the SH figure arts, but they're rather expensive. But ultimately, if it comes to Star Wars, I like the 3 3/4 inch figures. And now that they're bringing back the vintage collection ones, they're a little higher quality. They get me into it. But again, the Star Wars universe is so large that it's nearly impossible for me to complete it. So I sort of just pick and choose.
There's so many. There's so many storylines I can do that it's ridiculous. He says, not a Ren asked, how's that Kenner Star Wars coming along?
What was that?
He says, Randy, how's that Kenner Star Wars coming along?
Pretty good. I just added a couple new Ewoks, and it's sort of stalled out a little bit, just as the winter months have gone. But I did add a few new. I think I'm up to 30 or so.
Okay. Well, that answer your question, not a Ren. Oh, that's a good question. Gavatronus Reviews asked, what is y'all's holy grail piece? Like, what is something that you would love to have? Either one, doesn't matter.
The Godaken Tetsujin 28.
Which you did have at one time.
Which I did have, but I never had like a nice one. But I'd want it with all the parts in the box. Like, it was just a really. Are you familiar with it or? Not
really, but I'm learning.
It's just an old school 1984 Godaken robot. It was real limited availability. Like, it was like $90 in 1984. So
yeah, that was a lot back then. That was like $4 money right
there. A lot of money. It was huge. It was all metal. That would probably be my #1 grail piece.
What happened? It wasn't in good condition? You said you had one?
I had one, and I got it like later in life, like at the late part of high school. I went to college, needed money, and sold it.
Oh, yeah. Life happens. Yeah. What about you, Randy? What would be your grail piece?
That's tough. They did in the 80s, they did a Matchbox did an SDF-1 playset for Robotech, and I think that would be up there, even though it's not really an action figure, it's more a playset. But it's one of those things that when I was as a child and a kid, I always wanted that. Also, there's some pretty rare European market Starcom vehicles I would really love to get. If anyone knows Starcom.
I've heard Starcom, but I'm not.
Yeah. There's one called a 6-shooter, I believe, and it's pretty rare. That would be up on the list.
Nice. I think mine's always been. I've told everybody I would love to have a mint and sealed box of G1 Starscream. Never been opened, done all that stuff, and maybe graded or something. That would probably be one of my things and everything. So
classic Transformer packaging is just second to none, man. Like some of the best packaging ever.
It's second to G.I. Joe packaging, in my opinion.
Are y'all doing the Walmart's the reissues? Are y'all getting any of the reissues?
I found the Hot Rods on clearance, so I picked that up. Of course, I really wanted to get the Optimus Prime. I think $50 was $10 too much, but as soon as those hit $35, $40, I mean, there's no reason not to get one. So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm hoping. But I've seen them at my Walmart. Like maybe I've seen them a couple of times. And every time I go back, there's always only one left. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Maybe, because my Prime, my G1 Prime, the smokestack is broken off on one of mine. So I would love to get one. I have, but I don't know why I have reissues of them anyways. I have the Toys R Us one. So like, why do I really need this one? But,
I have a Japanese reissue, I believe, it's still in the box, so I'm good on that. But I wouldn't mind. Like I said, if they got a little cheaper, I wouldn't mind getting one and having a mint Optimus loose, or just the box is interesting.
They should have put a trailer with it, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of the gripe, because why is it $50 when you're trailer? To me, I just love walking down the Walmart aisle and seeing them. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's
It's
awesome.
nostalgia. Just like, oh my, that's cool. I don't know if people are buying them, but it's really cool to see it and everything. So, now the Ren has one more question. He's like, what is one toy line that you admire from afar? Like you just,
That's a good question,
yeah,
Brian.
that is
I'm
good.
thinking.
Yeah.
Acid Rain.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Acid Rain. I love them, but they're super expensive. I don't think I could afford to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can come up with a better answer than that. I think Brian's right. Acid Rain is one of those lines that had I started from the beginning and had a little bit more money, I would love to build a set of that. That's a good answer.
For me, I'll answer the question too. Not I've always He-Man was my first passion, was my first love. I collected He-Man and I had tons of He-Man figures. And if I could have, if my wife would let me, if I could start another line, I would definitely do He-Man. I would love to get back into that stuff.
I just started collecting the vintage Masters
did
of the
you?
Universe. Yeah, it's a rabbit hole I didn't really plan on going down, but it's happening. So
Nice.
we'll see how that goes.
All right, cool. And I don't know how to say it. Elser, he wants to know what's y'all's oldest piece in y'all's collection. Do you even know what your oldest piece is?
Oldest, wow.
Oldest piece, I gotta think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I have something that goes back to the '60s at least, but
Oh, nice.
I mean, I'm primarily an '80s guy,
Yeah.
maybe late '70s. So that's just where my passion's at. I might have some weird '60s space toy or something sitting around, but yeah, I really stay in the '80s.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. The oldest thing I got is probably 1984. It's like a Takatoku Valkyrie toy.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Scale. Randy got for me, actually.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mainly my stuff is like from '80s. Did y'all get into any of the '90s stuff? Like, I always people
Exo
say
Squad.
Yeah, Exos. I was just gonna say Exo Squad, Super
Turtles.
Samurai,
Turtles was
Squad.
late '80s, I think, but
Turtles
I
was
was '90s.
Yeah. I mean, I loved, again, as I said, I sort of collected my whole life. So like even in the '90s, like the Toy Biz X-Men stuff, I was all up in that. I don't know if they've aged well, but I enjoyed them at the time.
Yeah.
And there's a few other obscure '90s toy lines that were pretty good.
The Shark Head. What was that? Shark Tail? Not Shark. Was it Shark Tales? No.
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks.
Yeah.
I remember those. I had
Ronin Warriors.
Ronin Warriors.
They were sharks on steroids. It was weird. I don't know. It's weird. They had some weird stuff, man. Captain Planet.
Superhuman Cyber Squad, Samurai Cyber Squad.
Those were so complex, though. They had parts everywhere, but those were sweet.
Skeleton Warriors were cool.
I was a big, like I said, I was a big Captain Planet fan. I don't know why. I just like Captain Planet. Him and his hairstyle. What was it? Golly.
He looked like MacGyver to me.
Didn't he have green hair?
Yeah, he had green hair. It was a
green hair. He looked like
he sort of had a mullet.
Mullet.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I had a mullet when I was a kid. I was like, what did I have?
Business
the mullet. He had the
party
green hair mullet.
And
he's like,
I was all business in 8th grade, man.
Yeah. I used to watch it. It was on TBS all the time, and I watched Captain Planet like it was nothing. I always wish that if they could make a movie, make a Captain Planet movie. And speaking of movies, what's y'all's favorite movie? What is a movie? I know we're almost done. I'm sorry. If you had to choose one movie, like if you watched it and you sit there, like if you flipping through the channels and you saw it, what's the one movie that you could not, just you totally love?
Star Wars trilogy aside, oh God, I mean, I love the 1980s Flash Gordon movie.
Good choice. Good choice.
But I mean, Goonies would probably be ultimately like Goonies.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most influential movies of my life, and I will always love the Goonies.
Yeah. What you?
Probably Phantasm.
Okay.
I mean, I think I've seen it the most out of any movie I know of. So
yeah,
I love it.
I would say Tombstone. Tombstone is one of my favorites.
Great movie.
Every time I watch it, I mean, Val Kilmer, he did Doc Holliday the best I've ever seen. I mean,
amazing.
Agreed. It's a great movie.
But Krull, y'all remember Krull?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember Krull.
Krull's on our list, man. That's on our list.
That's on our list.
We want to Krull action figures.
Yep.
It's so cheesy. Oh, come on now. I would if NECA did some Krull figures, I'm in.
Oh man, I would give my left nut for some crawl figures, maybe.
It's so cheesy. It's so good. It was yeah.
All that stuff, you know, like I'm a big Dune fan, Dark Crystal, Blade
Yeah.
Runner, you know, all that. Like, but I love the cheesy '80s sci-fi, fantasy, horror.
That movie has one of the best scores ever. I love the score for it. It's great.
Leslie Nelson's one of his first roles.
Yep.
I mean, I forgot he was even in it.
He played
a couple minutes.
Yeah, and I went a little back and I was like, damn, it was him. I'm like, man, that's pretty awesome. And I don't know who happened. The lead guy who looked like Kenny Loggins.
Marshall. He was in Star Trek Deep Space Nine as a villain. That's about it.
I thought it was Kenny Loggins at first. He looked like Kenny Loggins, so who knows? You know, but yeah, that was a good movie. I need to find that on DVD so I can buy that and watch that all the time. Pissed off my wife about it and everything. So, anyway, all right. Well, once again, thank you very much for taking time out of y'all's busy schedule. I had a wonderful time. Y'all are welcome back anytime. I appreciate. It was an honor to have y'all on to take time and
Thanks for having us, man.
It was really good talking.
Thank you.
And the answer, y'all's answers was awesome and everything. And if y'all want to pimp out y'all stuff right now, go ahead. Find where y'all at and all that stuff.
Yeah, just find us on YouTube or Instagram at Knerdout. That's with a K, Knerdout, and subscribe and if you're gonna watch. If not, it doesn't hurt our feelings. We hope you enjoy our show, and that's all I got.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem. And thank y'all very much in the chat for chatting it up with me and everything and watching everything. I hope y'all like this kind of thing. Like I do it a lot, because I like to do it. It's fun. You get to know people and out in the community and everything, all that stuff and everything. So go down and hit that like button. It helps the channel, and go down there sub also, and definitely check out these guys. They're a wonderful show. It's fun. It's it's like sitting around and just bullshitting with a bunch of nerds. Basically you're sitting down drinking whatever you want to drink, and just having fun. So yeah. So thank y'all very much. And I guess I'll see y'all around the 30 minutes. And as always, Hail Hasbro, and good night, folks.
Thanks, man. Hail Hasbro.
All right. Let me